guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but here's all this fucking doubt and you still kill the man. That's retarded to me. Even if you're pro-death penalty, anti-death penalty, to me that's beside the point. You now see that there's missing evidence left, right, and center as far as this dude is concerned, and you still went ahead and executed him. That's crazy to me. I caught on to Troy Davis like maybe a month ago. Once the facts started coming out, I never thought they would be able to execute him. I wasn't surprised that people caught on to it. I'm telling you, the only shock in my head was the fact that the execution actually went through.
I first heard about Troy Davis 5 days ago now. I just on Twitter saw Big Boy retweet a video saying that we needed to watch this man's story because he was about to be executed and there was a chance that he was innocent. I was like, wait a minute, you know, and I really did some digging into it for myself just so I knew what all the ruckus was about. Looked at everything I could to figure out what the brouhaha was about. To me, the most telling thing was when the United States Supreme Court stepped in and said, okay, we are going to do this final appeal. They left the man strapped on the gurney for 3 hours as they deliberated. Then they come back and offer no sort of explanation of why. As if we don't even have to explain to the United States why we are upholding this. That says it all right there.
No gun, no murder weapon, no fingerprints, no nothing. The eyewitnesses are turning around left, right, and center, changing their stories. How do you even justify some shit like that? Like I can't get past that point.
You can't use the word justice. There is no justice here. There's none. Honestly, if the victim wasn't a cop, I don't think we would have been having this whole conversation. You can't deny that. They were so adamant about getting their justice.
But you didn't get justice. Like, that's my whole thing. You created another injustice.
His family feels he did.
Yeah, but I mean, do they really?
Somebody else confessed. So now what? They want him, the person who confessed?
They knew all that yesterday morning. The youngest son, who was like an infant when the police officer was killed, he said basically that this has been dragging on, that they have no doubt in their mind that this is the man who killed his father and their husband, and basically they're tired of going through this where they're almost there and they don't get it, and they're like, we want this done, we want this taken care of.
People who claim they saw it are now telling you no, they didn't see him do it. If you really want justice, that should bother you.
Here's my thing, if you truly feel like this man losing his life is going to bring closure to what you and your family needs, then y'all better sit there and watch it. Why not? If you need this to move on, then sit your ass right there and watch this man die.
If that's how you feel, you should pull the switch.
Right.
Nobody else should be allowed to kill this man but you. If you feel like he took a life from you and you want to take his life, go ahead and pull the switch.
I bet you they find closure somewhere else though. It's not to blame the family because I'm sure that that ripped them apart. And I would never wish that on anybody. God only knows what they went through. But you have to look at who you want to be in relationship to what's happened to you. Do you want to allow this to make you some vengeful monster, or do you want to learn from it and grow from it? To say that, oh, there's no doubt in my, how is there no doubt in your mind? How?
A few of my friends been like, so why haven't Obama spoken? We don't know whether he tried to call, maybe he didn't make a public statement about it or whatnot. Then there's gonna be some people in his corner that feel like he shouldn't have.
His only statement was through the press secretary, and he said that Obama was not gonna get involved because it was a state issue, which I understand that part. But when it comes to a point where there's a large part of your constituency that's hurt, you have to address it. We elected you the president. We elected you the leader of our country. That means that you have to lead even in times where it's not favorable.
For that to be the case, Obama would need to stand up for any time this happens, because it's not an original situation with Troy Davis.
There hasn't been an outcry this loud in a very long time.
There are families right now in their homes like, well shit, if you're gonna stand up for Troy Davis, what about my relative who got killed and then the DNA evidence comes out, he was exonerated?
It's definitely happened before, it's just that media is different now. Like Twitter, you'd be surprised how people tune into it and the difference that it makes just in a situation like this. It was sort of not too little too late, but it's been 20 years too.
Before we go any further, rest in peace to Mark Macphail. He's the officer who was actually killed in the line of duty doing his job. He was trying to do the right thing. He got killed. He was an off-duty police officer. Shout out to him and his family. Like, I don't want to overlook the family of the victim. He is the victim. His family deserves justice. I just don't think justice was done. I don't think justice was done on behalf of his family, and I think what was done on behalf of his family is actually an injustice. And because of that, now we have Troy Davis's family who are also now victims, and you made a victim out of Troy Davis. Every time I heard something, I figured this will be the one where they catch it and he'll be off for death row. Like, I just knew that was gonna happen. I thought all these other things were gonna happen, and then next thing I know, 1108, rest in peace to Troy Davis.
He left rehab.
How was rehab?
Is that a St. Ides shirt? He's not going for the blue moon, he's going for the water.
After several weeks of prodding, Low checked himself into a voluntary rehab facility. He promptly realized that there was no open bar and checked himself out of the voluntary rehab facility.
He walks in and he went for the water. It's a good sign. He was kind of weird, but I think he's okay.
People need to mind their fucking business. I was out handling business, personal business, but no, I wasn't at rehab.
This lady, she decided that the outcry for Troy Davis was too much. So she hashtagged to her couple 100,000 followers something to the effect of, well, Troy Davis is trending and rest in peace, Mark Macphail is not, and you can change that. If you really want to see how ill the racial divide is in this country, go to that hashtag and look at some of the shit that's being said in honor of the officer's family. People are tweeting horrible shit. Knock that shit off. Like, you are not helping anything talking shit like that. Justice wasn't done. He's probably an innocent man, and here you guys are celebrating the fact that he's dead.
I first heard about Troy Davis 2 days ago, and I ain't said one word about it on Twitter because I'm not this political activist that's going to get on Twitter and say free Troy Davis or whatever hashtags they were using. I don't know all the facts to be getting on Twitter and to be making blog posts about how upset I am. Situations like these make me realize I need to get a little bit more informed about situations like this so I can actually be up to date and be like, damn, like this is an unfortunate situation, but I'm not going to do that 2 days before.
There's an assumption that we watch an innocent man being executed, and I think we have to look at the word innocent. The reality is that we don't know if he was innocent or not, and that's the whole point. We don't know. To me, this is not a racial issue. It's really a matter of, if you are going to practice this really barbaric thing as capital punishment, you have to know that the person that you are executing is guilty of the crime you are executing him for. Earlier in that same day, he shot somebody in the face. He was involved in the pistol whipping of this homeless man. So no, he was not some innocent dude. At the same time, he was sentenced to the death penalty for the murder of the police officer, and we don't know for sure that he actually murdered the police officer.
Most of what we know says he didn't kill that cop.
The evidence that's come out now does not point to, oh, he was innocent. The evidence that's come out now shows, oh, he really didn't get a fair trial.
But the evidence that's come out now says you don't have enough evidence to kill him.
The reality is that you can't change the rules for Troy versus Casey versus James Byrd's killer. You gotta look at it across the board. You gotta ask, is this practice okay? Is it okay to execute someone?
I think that's the problem, that racism, sexism, and classism apply when you're being tried, and that's it. It's the bottom line.
Bottom line is, what do we do about it now?
That was just one Troy Davis. There are others. Get involved sooner, make noise sooner. Use your voice where you can. It does make a difference.
I think Twitter, as far as political situations, it helps and it hurts. It helps in the fact that it spreads the news faster than a television, because with a television, you probably have to wait for the news to come on. With Twitter, it's on 24 hours a day. Anybody can say anything. So it definitely helps spread the information. But then on the other end, there are a lot of people who feel like, you know, once they've tweeted it to their followers, they've done what they need to do, and it's back to business as usual.
A tweet is not enough. A tweet is not enough.